log on to channelnewsasia.com/seminar.
Welcome back to News 5. Plans are underway to develop Tampines, Woodlands and Jurong into hubs that integrate both work and play. Singaporeans can also expect a rejuvenated city centre as moves are taken to encourage more mixed-use development in the central business district. These were among key announcements made by the National Development Ministry at the recent Committee of Supply debates. For more, we're joined by Lawrence Wong, who's National Development Minister and Second Minister for Finance. Minister, it's great to have you here with us today.
Thank you.
Now, as we've just heard, that there are actually plans to develop Jurong, Woodlands and Tampines into hubs where people can live, work and play. Can you tell us why specifically these areas were chosen?
Well, if you look at Singapore today, the most developed part of Singapore is the central area, our city. So we want to broaden our development so that it benefits the rest of the island. And why Jurong, why Changi or Tampines and Woodlands? It's basically east, west and north. So we are broadening to 3 distinct gateways in the east, anchored by Changi Airport in the east. In the west, we have Tuas Megaport. We have new developments like Jurong Lake District coming up. And in the north, we have the Woodlands Regional Centre and Punggol Digital District. So overall, I think it will help to create more jobs closer to home, as you mentioned, and it will support new growth sectors that are coming up.
Right. I'm sure a lot of people are very excited about these developments. Is there a timeline that you're working towards, or when can people see all this become a reality?
These are medium-term plans, so some of them are already unfolding. Overall, we have an exhibition that will be coming up in URA. It's our draft master plan, which will be showcasing plans over the next 10 to 15 years. So many of these plans will be highlighted in the exhibition, and it's a major transformation. We look forward to receiving feedback and input from Singaporeans so that we can continue to fine-tune and improve these plans.
Sounds good. Well, also in the pipeline are plans for rejuvenating Orchard Road. I think for many tourists and even Singaporeans, shopping and Orchard Road are rather synonymous. So is it really possible to create a brand new identity for Orchard Road?
Well, if you look at Orchard Road today, compared to many other shopping streets in the world, Orchard Road is longer and it has too much of the same retail offering. So the current formula is not working, and we are changing it by having more differentiated offerings. And we have identified 4 precincts along the entire stretch of Orchard Road, which is more than 2 kilometers long. There's Tanglin, there's the Orchard Core itself, there's Somerset, and there's Dhoby Ghaut. Each precinct already has its own distinct character and identity in some ways. So we will do more to bring this out in our development plans with more mixed users and a wider range of entertainment and lifestyle options. At the same time, we want to enhance the experience along the street. So we are creating a green corridor from Botanic Gardens in Tanglin, linking all the way down Orchard Road to Istana Park. And when we do that, I think it will add to the overall experience, and we can also enhance the pedestrian connectivity and inject more life and activities along Orchard Road itself. So all this, I think, will help to bring a more diverse range of experiences on Orchard Road.
That's quite a lot of, it's quite an extensive amount of changes. So what kind of challenges do you anticipate that this might bring for all of you?
Well, if you look at Orchard Road now, you will know that it's a fairly built-up area. There's not a lot of greenfield sites for new developments, and many of the properties are owned by private developers. So it really is an effort that cannot be done by the government alone. We need all of the stakeholders on Orchard Road, property owners, as well as other stakeholders with interest in helping to rejuvenate and revamp Orchard Road.
Right. In terms of challenges as well, I think it has been brought up that, certain things might be a little bit difficult to execute. For example, if shops and businesses don't fit a particular theme in the sub-precinct, it might be quite hard to move them out, so to speak. Also, the idea that, visitors these days are very well-traveled and they keep expecting new and exciting things. So can Singapore really keep up in terms of this Orchard Road rejuvenation, keeping it relevant over a long period of time?
So it really, as I said, I think the property owners, the mall owners, the building owners are critical, right? Because they themselves have an interest in wanting their more footfall, more traffic through their shopping or through their malls. And they have to realize, and I think many of them are starting to realize, the traditional way of doing retail has to change. And this is not just in Singapore, it's happening everywhere in the world because retail is undergoing a fundamental transformation with e-commerce. So I think these mall owners and operators understand that, and they understand that it's not enough to just offer retail. It's important to offer experiences. It's important to understand your customers. So I think with that with that kind of a buy-in and with working together with them, I'm confident we can bring about changes.
Well, we definitely look forward to the result of all those transformations as well. Thank you so much for joining us today, Minister. We've been chatting so far with the National Development Minister and Second Minister for Finance, Lawrence Wong. Retail sales here rose 7.6% year-on-year in January, with motor vehicle sales roaring along at 20%, helped by the Singapore Motor Show. This according to government figures released today. It bucks the downward trend of the last 2 months where retail sales fell. But excluding motor vehicles, retail sales rose 5.3% on year. Higher demand during January's pre-Chinese New Year festive season helped lift sales of apparel and footwear 10.5% on year. The former chairman of Mosque's management board has admitted to misappropriating more than $370,000 of its cash collections over 7 years. Muttalib Hashim pleaded guilty to 6 criminal breach of trust charges, with another 8 charges taken into consideration. The 58-year-old helped himself to donations at Darussalam Mosque in Clementi from 2006 to 2013. Muttalib's actions were discovered after he stepped down from his role, and there was a marked increase in mosque donations. Still at home, the second phase of reductions to the CPF investment scheme or CPF-IS fees will be deferred by a year. It'll kick in on October 2020 instead of this October. The Manpower Ministry and CPF Board say the move is in response to feedback that financial advisors require more time to adjust to the revised fee structure. The first phase of fee revisions took effect last October. As for the second phase, it will see the removal of sales charge for investment-linked insurance policies and unit trusts. This will reduce the cost of investing for CPF-IS members. Currently, financial advisors are allowed to implement a sales charge of up to 1.5% for those products. Also taking effect in October next year, the cap for annual wrap fees will be lowered from 0.7% to 0.4% of assets under management per annum for members with wrap accounts. Coming up on News 5, it's crunch time for UK's Prime Minister Theresa May, with MPs voting on her revised Brexit deal. Plus, the fate of Malaysia Airlines hangs in the balance. Details when we come back.
Weather report brought to you by Mitsubishi Electric.